Hi guys, this is Kyle,
And this is Brandon.
and we are
Your
Gaijin
Gaijin
friends.
friends.
Today we are talking about Terrace House, episode 38.
Do you remember the title of the episode? I didn't look at it.
You can check it out. Let's see what it was. Oh yeah, the costume incident or something.
Oh, that's a bad title.
Yeah. But anyway, overall impressions. Last episode, 37, was really uncomfortable to watch when Shacho was getting very pushy and everything. But this was like 5 times more uncomfortable. Like I was literally like squirming in my seat.
Yeah.
It was rough.
I made so many notes. Often I don't make as many notes, but do you notice that this entire episode only had 2 scenes?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
one scene
When
in
I-
the
when I
girls'
was-
room and then one scene in the kitchen. That's the whole episode.
When I was going over my notes, I was like, yeah, this is just like 2 actual things here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh no, that's not true. There's a little dabble with Kai in the middle. Little comic relief.
Nicely done. So I guess the first thing that I made note of was so first it was Hana and Vivi talking, maybe.
That's right, yeah.
And
No.
they're like,
Hana and Yume.
okay. And anyway, there's Hana and somebody talking about
Oh no, it
how
was Hana and Vivi. That's right, sorry. Getting mixed.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Anyway, they were talking about how Hana now feels about Kai.
Right.
And she said, all her feelings just kind of went away, basically. Samemashita. And now it's like moody. Like how do they translate that?
How did they translate that? I don't remember what the English translation was. Like I don't like him anymore. I have no feelings. I don't know what the
Yeah.
English.
That sounds about right. But anyway, I felt very vindicated because I was listening to the episode that we made like two times ago, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, I was totally correct. That they had no chance." And I think I hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
So you were correct?
Yep.
It happens once in a while.
Okay.
So there was some new information that we heard from Hana. So last time I was really on Kai's side. But a little bit more information from Hana, and I kind of feel like maybe Kai is also not so great, but I still feel like I'm on his side. But one thing about listening to music when they're hanging out, I really don't like that. Not a fan.
Especially when they're on like a trip away
Yeah.
from home. It's not like they're just killing time together. They're supposed to be on some fun vacation kind of thing. So yeah, hearing that, and on top of that, like the listening so loud that it's sounds
Everybody can
leaking
hear it.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's like what's wrong with you? You really are in your own world.
Right. So my feeling was kind of teeter-tottering the whole time. This when I was listening to these girls talk. So I was like, oh, okay, so Kai was kind of being a dick. But then the next thing that Hana talked about was that she knew that Kai had talked to Shacho and that he had told him he had no money and Shacho's offered to pay. And so she was fully aware, but she was still upset about it because she said he should have pretended because he knew she liked him. So that made me wonder, what the hell? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you pretend to pay when everybody knows you're not going to be? What is the purpose? Why is pretending good? Did
Yeah,
you-
like
Yeah.
yeah, I think that whole issue is just kind of weird at this point.
Yeah.
Because like she says she knew that they arranged this, which I didn't know. But nobody said that at first.
Right.
So it's kind of weird that they keep coming back to it. Other than
Right.
the fact that it's just she's unhappy that he doesn't have money,
Yeah, maybe.
and it's like not a good look.
Hmm.
Where if that's what you're going for, then just say that to begin with. You don't have to like. But I guess if she was with him the whole time, and he's kind of in his own world,
Yeah.
then that does seem like it's kind of unappreciative.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
Vivi defends Kai, right?
Kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
She defends him and then also says like she always thought he was himo,
That's true, yeah.
like a fucking leech. Like,
Yeah.
whoa. Whose team are you on right now? Like,
Yeah, one thing I really like about Vivi is she's kind of the mediator. She's usually in the middle. She doesn't take sides so much. She
and
either
at the same time, she's also very like direct and straight up with
Yeah.
what she's thinking
and pretty logical, almost always.
for the most
And
part.
so actually, at first I thought she's kind of like the mediator playing the middle position, but it's not always true. I feel more like she likes to help the underdog to give him a chance. So the
Mhm.
underdog is the person who's kind of like losing in the argument.
Well, I guess they're the ones who need help in some way,
Yeah.
even if it's not to win the argument, but to reach harmony, maybe.
Mm. So it's interesting because when I listen to Vivi talk, I often feel like that when I talk to my friends. If
Mm-hmm.
I feel like somebody's wrong, I try to figure out, okay, well, they're not 100. Nobody's ever 100% wrong. So
Mm-hmm.
there must be like miscommunication or misunderstanding. And yeah, when she says he's a leech, but she still defends him at the same time, that's something I would do. Like, yeah, I hate him, but is something I would say. Like, I think he's useless, but it's not very often that I'm 100% against something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to hear her.
That's true. All right. So, should we move on to the comic relief?
Yeah. Actually, just before that, Vivi goes and talks to Kai
Mm-hmm.
because she's the logical one and feels like he should understand what's going on. This is really nice.
Was this before or after the?
This is before. I wrote my notes in chronological order,
Cool.
I think. Yeah, I must have. It's all super squished. So, yeah, she talks to Kai and she explains, and he's kind of confused and upset. But at the
Mhm.
same time, she's correct. So he can't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
But she said that he needs to show more like hansha, like
Mm-hmm.
thankfulness.
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, I was wondering, like, is it better to say? Because he said thank you a lot, and he showed his kansha, his thankfulness to Shacho. And for me, that I feel like that's what he should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds like the girls would prefer him instead of saying thank you. He should pretend to
Right.
pay and pretend to like look like he has money or something. I started to wonder, like, which is better? Is it should you be thankful or should you pretend?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are the girls looking for at this time? Did you get that feeling as well?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I don't know if they necessarily think of it that way, like that it means pretending, but just to make that attempt. But I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like if they
But
already
Hana did
know
mention that he
they
should
have
pretend.
this. Oh, she said that? Like
Yeah,
actual
earlier.
pretend?
Yeah.
Really? Then
She said, like, I know he doesn't have money, and I know Shacho said he'd pay for everything, but he should still try to pretend like he could pay or show.
I think that's kind of silly.
Yeah, I
But
think so as well.
I mean, if he's just kind of like in his own world and not even saying like, "Oh, thanks for dinner,"
Yeah, that's true.
then
We don't
that's
know what
stupid.
it is, so.
Like, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So I mean, even just showing it through saying thank you,
right.
it was great or something. He was kind of in a dark mood the whole time. So
Yeah, he still is, it seems like. Okay, so Kai's comedy or good team? What do you think, Kyle?
I think it was funny for me to watch. I mean, he he really fell apart on stage.
Or did he?
Like, I think he did. Because like when he first went up and was like, he was saying, "Oh, like my mom
Yep.
My mom told me that I was too sensitive and stuff.
Yep.
That I think his plan is to act very sensitive in that moment.
Yep.
But I think he kind of lost it and like actually started like crying with all the emotion of the past
Yeah.
couple days maybe. But then it seemed he totally lost his train
His
of
joke.
thought with the next joke.
Yeah, his premium
Strawberry
strawberry.
milkshake. I mean, strawberry premium milkshake. But I think the funniest thing was when he said, "Damn, that sucked," and it was
Yeah. When he's given up completely.
and I thought he might like lean into that and just kind of use that as comedy
Yeah.
to kind of like poke fun at himself. But it seemed he didn't really do that. But it's hard to say because we only got a small clip.
Right. So he went off the stage, and the next scene it shows him in the background when they says "Thank you, Kai, for coming out," and he looks so happy. I was so confused. Like, was that his plan to pretend like he forgot everything? Because it just seemed like he forgot.
Yeah, I don't know if like how much they trimmed this down.
Right.
Because maybe that was just part of it, and then later he actually did a few jokes, and then it was good. Because I don't know, maybe they're just trying to make him look really bad in this case.
They did a good job.
Yeah. Which I don't think he needed that much help with, but
shots have been fired. Punches have been thrown.
Yeah, I'm on Yama-chan's team, so.
Oh, I did not watch the commentary this time.
In any case, why not make jokes? But yeah. And then it seemed like immediately after that, we see Hana like crying kind of inexplicably.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what is happening here? Like at first, my first reaction was like, wow, she's like crying because something shrank. Like,
yeah.
Until I found out what it was and the whole story, but
yeah.
Which leads to like a bloodbath.
A bloodbath, yeah. So
Shuraba.
I feel really bad for her as well. Her and Yume were talking about it, and yeah, I understand that she's super upset, and that. So, Yume said, "I don't think he knows he did something bad." I feel like that's a correct thing to say, but I think she's trying to insinuate that he did something bad and he's not taking responsibility for it. Where I think he probably made a mistake and just tossed the stuff in and washed them again. And thought like, So I don't know if that he did something bad. Yes, something bad happened from his actions, so he didn't pay attention. But
so isn't that the same thing as doing something bad?
Well, no, because they're really upset that he didn't apologize online. But I don't think he's actually aware of what happened. So he doesn't know it's bad yet.
Moment, I see.
Right.
I see.
So he's just like, yeah, maybe that was me. Like, whatever. I washed your clothes again. Now they're really clean. I don't know if he's aware of the seriousness of the situation. So at this point, I don't feel like they should be reaming on him yet. No, maybe he didn't even see the message. Maybe he didn't realize that it was him. I don't know. Because he didn't take his laundry out either.
Yeah, I mean, it did seem like he was at his comedy show and came right home directly to that.
Yeah.
So maybe he didn't really like see the message. It's possible.
Yeah, very possible. And yeah, so he said sorry as soon as he found out, right? He apologized a couple times.
It seemed a little weak, but yeah. Yeah. Gomen. Just like not even like turning it up in, I don't know, politeness, or I guess not politeness, but just you didn't really feel that it was matching what they were saying. But
I feel like in his mind, he's trying to figure out like, is there anything that he can do? And actually, no. The only thing he could do is like pay for it. But she's not worried about the money. She's worried about like the memories that came with the costume.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So whether he pays for it or not doesn't make a difference, like in a way.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
he really seemed like a deer caught in the headlights. Just
Yeah,
completely like, oh my God, not everyone's pissed, but someone is really pissed at me. And then
yeah,
a few other people are also kind of like
just
piling on
totally
a little
quiet.
bit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
So yeah, he just says sorry, 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 sorry. Just keeps repeating it over and
mm-hmm.
over throughout this episode.
And then Hana gets into like the gangster talk, which she said like Timme. Like,
Yeah, Teme was scary. So one thing I felt was really interesting. It reminded me of being in like, middle school or elementary school.
mm-hmm,
Was she was talking about Kai behind his back, right in front of him. So she's talking to Vivi about Kai, but Kai is there. It's really weird to see this kind of situation.
you mean like when they're on the couch?
No, when they were all sitting around the kitchen.
Oh, okay. Right.
So
Okay.
Vivi was talking to her, trying to make her feel better, and then she said like, "Oh, it's not you that needs to make me feel better. Like somebody else needs to do it." And I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that somebody else is right in the room with you. You could talk to him. He's
Mm-hmm.
already saying sorry. It might be
Mm-hmm.
better to
Well,
talk directly.
I'm guessing she was just thinking if she talked directly to him, she just like wouldn't be able to like look him in the face because she's so mad.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, I mean, she is quite young, so she probably
Yeah,
hasn't had to deal with these kind of emotions too much. But
true. I was in high school once also.
yeah, I bet.
So something I didn't like is she makes it seem like it's 100% his fault. He's the
Mm-hmm,
bad
mm-hmm.
guy. She did nothing.
Right.
And that's not the case. She forgot her laundry. She said it at the beginning. She
Mm-hmm,
forgot her laundry. He put
mm-hmm.
his laundry in without checking. They both
Right.
made careless mistakes.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
yeah, she suffered, but
mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think she is slightly making too much of it because, yeah, that's partially her fault and partially his fault,
yeah,
probably more his fault.
it's
But
more
I mean,
his fault. Yeah,
but at the same time, it's like how expensive it is and how meaningful it is
yeah,
that makes it such a big deal as far as that incident alone. But I guess like just all the other annoyances
mm,
that they had with him just piled up and that led to a lot of emotion. So,
yeah. I understand that. Actually, one of the things I wrote down is it's the small things that are important, and that's true with kind of everything in life.
mm-hmm.
But yeah. So a couple times she tells him say something, and so then he apologizes again, and then she ignores it, and then she says just say something, and then he says I'm sorry, and then she ignores it.
It was not even
And
ignoring it. It was just like, oh, that's all you have to say, like that kind of feeling I
yeah,
felt. Yeah.
so I wonder. I'm curious. What does she want to hear from him? What would make her happy in this situation?
Yeah, I was trying to like think. I'm like, if I was Kai, then like, what would I say at this point?
Hmm.
Like,
Like
and I
she's
was,
lost it.
yeah. I mean, I think whatever you say, it's not gonna make her feel any better.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe if he's actually uh says something like, I don't know, okay, I will change this about myself, or I'll at least try to take people's feelings into consideration. I'll try to like be careful next time when I'm doing laundry.
Yeah,
Something like that probably would have been a little bit better than just gourmet.
yeah. If he
Yeah.
had said like I'm sorry I didn't check. I'm sorry. That's a
Mm-hmm.
very small
Mm-hmm.
change. Might have helped a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah, with
yeah, I thought like
just
maybe
saying
if he
like
had
I'm sorry, I'm
yeah,
sorry. It just sounds like he's like a child who's been caught and he's like, oh, I know I have to say this word, you know. Like,
maybe yeah. But yeah, I was kind of wondering, trying to think of what things he might be able to say that would make her feel better. Because if he said I'll pay for it, I'm sure she'd say like that's not the problem. Same as Vivi.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not the money.
I could even see her like if he tried to pay, then she'd be like, "No, fuck you," like.
Yeah, probably.
But
So she
yeah.
went on a crazy tirade. She just yelled for 10 minutes, just ranted and raved.
Mm-hmm. I was just in my seat, just like, "Ugh, can
Yeah.
I don't know if I can finish this, but
Normally when I'm watching Terrace House, especially recently because we've been doing this, I've been making notes and paying attention, but I just wrote down crazy tirade for that whole rant that she had. I ended up I was setting up the podcast, so I was kind of preparing the podcast while she was complaining in my ears. I wasn't watching the subtitles, so I only got the Japanese side to it. And often I'm watching the subtitles, I'm reading the subtitles, so I get a different sense of what's happening when I read the English. When I turn the subtitles off, I have like more deeper understanding, so it started to get more to my core when listening to her only. Like, oh my god, it's so scary.
Yeah. One thing I wrote down was when they just started the group discussion.
Yeah.
I have like Hana shooting daggers with her eyes,
Yes, that's true.
and that was just like,
Just glaring.
I want to kill you, like. And the one funny thing that I noticed was, both Hana and Kai, they used the English like, "What the fuck,"
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
which I thought was really funny, and it kind of plays into what we talked about on our last podcast episode, where it was like they don't have this in Japanese, like
Right.
to the same strength. Anyway,
I think that when Kai said it at the end, I feel like it made sense though. I was like,
yeah, it
good.
definitely made sense.
Yeah. Especially because do you remember what happened? Why he said that at the very end?
Oh, when she when she slapped his hat off and is like
Yeah.
wearing a hat like a fucking idiot or something. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was pretty hilarious because it's just like they said in the commentary. Uh, I guess you didn't see that end part either.
No.
Yeah, because Yama-chan was like, just so you know, like it wasn't the hat that was, stupid. It's just the
Yeah.
person who was wearing the hat that is stupid. So, to the makers of the hat, like, please don't worry about this, Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's true. She said stupid hat. No, she didn't say it. The English subtitles a stupid hat.
yeah, it's hard to translate the Japanese part of it, but
Yeah.
wearing a hat stupidly, kind of something like that. But
Yeah. Like it was disrespectful or something. I don't know.
yeah, it wasn't even disrespectful. That's the thing. But I guess it'd be hard to translate.
She just needed some kind of channel to channel her anger and decided to take it out on his hat. So when he said "what the fuck," I thought, "Oh wow, that's perfect. This is his next comedy routine." Hi, you should listen to our podcast because we know what's funny.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah.
We gave him some tips last time, right? I believe we did.
I think Shacho's part is funny too, like what he said, because he was
Oh,
just
that's
saying
true. Yeah.
it was only like monetary things. Like at first,
No, no.
yeah,
Yeah, he did mention
basically.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, at first he's just like, oh, like that much money, oh, that's rough. And then she's like, it's not about the money. Like, kind of
Yeah.
snapped at him a little bit. And then at the end, after everyone stormed off, then he was like, I wonder where we can get a costume like that. Like it just
Yeah.
seems like again he's like trying to solve the problem with like,
With money.
yeah. So
True.
it's just like, that's how he's probably used to solving problems in his life. But
So he threw a little bit of comedy into the conversation, which was a nice little relief. She didn't like it. She laughed a little bit, right? When she was
at what
saying it,
point?
she was saying it's really tight and it doesn't fit. And he's like, "Can you wear it like Kireru?" And she's like, "Yeah, I can, but it's so tight. Like it'd be like up to here on your sleeves or something like that, like wearing a suit." And he's like, "Oh, that's tough." And then he asked her like, "Gatsui?" And then she's like, "No, it's not about that." So it's kind of funny.
Kind of. I don't think she enjoyed it though.
Maybe not.
I think it was just like, what the hell are you saying?
Yeah. Her and Yume also laughed a little bit when she showed her top and it was like this big.
But anyway, I think that's just about it for that episode. in closing, I'd like to ask you, Brandon.
Wait, can I have
Would
one more comment?
Yeah, I'll give you it.
Thank you. I appreciate. At the very end, like Kai said, he doesn't know what to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Sean told him, "You should clean up. Show her." And that I felt like Sean is so intelligent. He might win Yume over with that one comment.
Yeah, his comment seemed very level-headed and just
Hmm.
very logical.
Yeah.
It's like, I do wash dishes. I do wash dishes. Like, when I use stuff, I wash it. And it's like, that's not exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah.
To contribute more, basically.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what was your question?
My question for you is, have you or would you ever use a washing machine without checking that it was empty first?
Actually, I think I have one time. So, a lot of washing machines are upright washing machines. They're not front loading.
Mm-hmm.
So, upright washing machines, when I was younger, I'm kind of tall, so I can see in easily, but I can't see everything. And I feel like one time I did wash my laundry with somebody else who had washed only a little bit, like a quarter load or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't notice there was clothes in there. So I washed my clothes. And when I took them out, there was like other clothes. I was like, what the heck? That's weird.
Did you shrink something?
No, so it was also a girl's clothes, like a bunch of girl stuff. And I know that some clothes shrink. And I don't know if there's a special like way to wash like especially bras. Bras have different parts to them and they have like elastics and so I just like separated it all and left it on top of the washing or the dryer for the next
Mm-hmm.
person. I dried my clothes and left this unknown person's clothes on top.
Wow, your
So
clothes and this unknown person's clothes got pretty intimate, huh?
they did, yeah. They were bouncing around the washing machine for a long time.
I
This
see.
is years and years ago when I lived downtown, maybe 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I was very careful. I always checked washing machines, even for my own stuff. When I took my
Mm-hmm.
clothes out, I'd always kind of spin the drum around and make sure I didn't miss a sock or something.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially if it's like communal washing machines, like not just in your house, but sharing with a building. You want to be sure to have everything separated.
Yeah, like I don't want somebody else's underwear. That's weird. Get
Mm-hmm.
arrested for
Mm-hmm.
that.
But yeah, so if you've done this before, then this means you could have been in Kai's position if you were in the house, eh?
Yeah, it's possible. And I've also forgot my laundry, just same as Hana's done. They're
Mm-hmm.
both just careless mistakes.
So,
Have you done
okay.
either?
So in closing, Brandon is careless.
So I have been careless in the past. So I try to learn from my mistakes.
No,
It's never
I've
happened
never,
again.
I've never done that or anything wrong.
You've never done. Right. So it's snotted all over the place.
See, there's another thing you do wrong, okay? But yeah, no, for like washing clothes, I'm pretty uptight about it. So
Pretty consistent.
yeah, just because I feel the need to. So I gotta
Yeah.
take it out as soon as possible, and then
Yeah, I do that as well now.
I give
I
a
always set
good
a
check.
timer and
Because like there's been times where, yeah, I think probably everyone has had this situation where there's been like a tissue in a pocket or something, and
oh
then like
yes,
after it's like
tissue everywhere.
just destroyed tissue and like all over everything. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, that's the worst. So I think that was traumatic for me. So now I'm always checking pockets and
Hmm.
just double checking there's nothing that shouldn't be in there that is. So.
Yeah. I think my mom used to like check our pockets of course, for everything when I was a kid.
Mhm.
And if she found money, she told me that it's like a fee for washing clothes. I think. So, actually, one interesting thing about our culture is often we do our own laundry from a
Mhm.
younger age, and from what I've heard from a lot of Japanese people is they don't. Their mother does their laundry until they move out. Might be 20, 22, 23.
Yeah, that's kind of weird for me.
It is kind of weird. My mom definitely would like do my laundry if I left it there or I forgot it or something, but she's not
Mhm.
gonna go collect it from my room and do it for me. That's for sure.
Mhm. Mhm. Definitely. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's the end of our Terrace House episode today.
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching. Thanks everybody on YouTube that came in and enjoyed your time here.
And we'll see you later.
Yeah, have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Yeah.